Welcome to Stacey Angela Approved Television. Here you'll find the best in fashion, art, music, and lifestyle. Everywhere I go. Yes, fashion is in New York City. Fashion is in Miami. Fashion is in LA. But fashion is also all over the world. Welcome to the Stacey Angela Approved Perspective. Don't stop your love. Jamaica represents a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds that make our island one of the most precious jewels in the Caribbean. An island of unique culture, engaging activities, breathtaking landscapes, and of course, warm and welcoming people. After all, our slogan is, out of many, one people. Up next, Nadia Dean of Queen Solomon's Jewels.
I miss you.
Hi, my name is Nadia of Queen Solomon Jewels. I'm the owner and the founder of the jewelry accessory line that caters to celebrities such as actors, actresses, recording artists, but my favorite are everyday people, cultural people, people that are well-grounded, are in the streets. Those are my people. Those are my biggest clients. And with that, I want to say thank you. I've been doing fashion since maybe the age of 8 or 9. I was influenced by my mom. She's a very big fashion icon in my eyes and in the Guyanese community. She ran with some of the best dressed women, and I can't even begin to call the names. Over 30 beautiful women up to this day. These women are in their 70s. They're top notch. And that's who I was influenced by. And we also just started a new venture called Vent and Vixens. We can be found at Vent and Vixens, Anchor FM, or you can reach us at ventandvixens.com. If you're interested in some cute accessories to support your girl, you can go to www.queensolomonjewels.com. If you want to reach out to me, both platforms are available. And please tune into our podcast. Let's get busy. Let's talk about things people don't want to talk about. And see how far we get. Peace and love.
Up next, MIKELA Rose of Style and Vibes.
Hi guys, I'm MIKELA of Style and Vibes. StyleandVibes.com is a website as well as podcast dedicated to Caribbean music, fashion, travel, culture, you name it. We're talking about it on the podcast. I started it some time ago. I was in college when I started it. I started out as a journalist, freelance writer, and Style and Vibes was my home for all of that. I have recently moved into podcasting for the last 2.5 years, almost 2 years. Wow, it's a long time. So I podcast where I interview celebrities, Caribbean tastemakers. I've done interviews with the likes of Itana, Conscience, Walshy Fire, as well as Carlton Brown, who is a Jamaican fashion designer, as well as talk about some cultural issues, especially related to like Trinidad Carnival, music, you name it. We've had a bunch of conversations. So if you would like to visit styleandvibes.com and check out what we are about, you can visit us at styleandvibes.com, and you can subscribe to the podcast, which comes out every 2 weeks, and you can just hear our conversations there. So growing up, I was actually the first in my family born here. Both of my parents are from Kingston, Jamaica, so they came here after my older sister was born. And you know, I just kind of grew up with both cultures. I didn't really know that there was a difference because it was just, you know, my culture and my heritage. It wasn't until I got a bit older that I kind of realized, you know, going to school and, you know, understanding, you know, the differences between cultural different backgrounds of all the kids. But really growing up, I didn't really notice the difference because, you know, my mom made sure that we kind of just knew everything that she knew and did everything that she did the way that she had done it and how she was raised. So I think, you know, my experience with Jamaican culture is one and the same. You know, my personality just, you know, is about both. It always has been, just because of the proximity of me being here and, you know, my affinity for the music and entertainment and culture really started before I was even conceived. You know, if you talk to my mom, she's just that kind of person. So I just adopted it as I got older, and as I grew, my interest for the culture also grew, and I started paying more attention to, you know, the history, the culture, the fashion, and adopted it for myself. So for me, they're really just one and the same. I'm just located in a different, colder space, although I would love, you know, to just be in Jamaica and just live there. But, you know, I'll get there one day maybe. So from a coronavirus perspective, because I have been doing a lot of the podcasts, recording remotely, it hasn't impacted me too much. I think just more of the mental space and capacity to be able to have different kinds of conversations are what were some of the challenges. But in terms of just being able to do what I do, I've been able to really sustain, because it was a model that I had adopted when I first started podcasting. So I can podcast literally from my phone with another person. I have a remote microphone that plugs right into my iPhone. I do most of my recordings via Zoom. I can transcribe them and create articles, as well as, you know, digital content. So for me, there hasn't been a huge impact. I do know that for like a lot of artists, as well as the designers, they're definitely feeling the impact. So really just keeping the support for those individuals was really part of just my goal, as well as maintaining, you know, my mental health during this time with everyone, and physical health too, because, you know, you want to be mindful of everything that is happening in the world, and, you know, just making sure you're healthy and sane. So I am blessed and grateful for the opportunity to be able to do all the things that I was doing before, just in a much smaller space. So just reporting differently and writing things differently, just changing the perspective versus how I deliver the content. Goals for 2021. I think, you know, 2020 showed us whatever goals you have, you know, they might get changed. So the ability to pivot is, I think, important. But for me, so long as I'm still doing the podcast, that will really be my number one focus. Having really great conversations, well researched. I'm no longer really doing a whole lot of freelance writing, but I still take that approach when I'm bringing the entertainment to the podcast format. It's a longer format, which I really enjoy, because you can have in-depth conversations with people and really get to know and understand. You know, having an in-depth conversation with people is very different than, you know, making it concise for 250 to 300 words in a paragraph. So for me, the podcast will be definitely the number one focus, as well as I have some merch coming out along with Merch Carnival. So I've partnered with Merch Carnival to do Style and Vibes exclusive merchandise. So you can only purchase your merchandise from me and from the brand on their website. They also do a lot of other great t-shirts and sweatshirts and hats. They have some other partnerships with Caribbean brands as well. So they're based out of UVI as well as the States. based not in the islands. UVI is part of the States. So I like to be able to support in terms of, leveraging what others have already done, and kind of making the collaboration. So for me, those are the two focuses. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, because that is definitely a big thing for me. I think we need to be able to tell our stories from our perspective, and having it told through our eyes is definitely important in terms of just documenting and having a lot of the important conversations around culture. For me, I'm such a huge history buff. I like to learn everything. So this is really just another way to kind of have those conversations and keep it alive, and really get to know some of your favorite Caribbean brands that you may not get to really take the time to get to understand. So those are my goals for 2021. What do I think my biggest impact will be this year? I really don't know. I kind of just leave it up to, faith that I'm just in my right path, doing the things that I love, that I'm passionate about. Having conversations with people and really getting to understand them is, I think, my mission. And I think as long as I continue to do what I'm doing from a full heart, that my impact will be made to those who feel it the most, who are most accepting of what I have to offer. And I think that is really truly all I can expect from an impact perspective. There's a lot of conversation around, influencing people and what that means. But I think just doing what I know best and in the way that I know how to do best, that's true to myself, is the biggest impact that I could make on my business as well as the culture, and just keeping it thriving, because, I want to have authentic conversations that really evoke who we are as a people, good and bad. How do fashion and music go hand in hand? I mean, I named my site Style and Vibes for that reason. So I remember when the name came to me, and I was just like, if nothing else, I knew this name is perfect. For me, fashion and style and music, they really just are intertwined with one another. So when you see someone, it's very visual, and then when you start talking to someone, it's that aura that they give off. And music kind of tends to blend both of those. You can't have a video or visuals without fashion. You can't have fashion without music playing. So for me, the two kind of collide in a creative space that it just works so well, because we're always intertwining the two on an everyday basis. Most people listen to music every day. You have to get dressed every day. So I think it's already embedded from a societal standpoint that the two go hand in hand. So for me, they're just complementary to one another. It's a sensory that you feel and you hear, and you just exude, and you can really kind of, it's just this beautiful osmosis of creativity that makes fashion and music go hand in hand. Thank you guys so much for checking me out on Stacey Approved TV. Make sure you guys keep it locked, cause you don't know Stacey approved it.
Up next, the one to watch, Stewella Daville.
I miss you.
Good evening, everybody. I am international freelance model Stewella Daville, born and raised in the Bronx, but my family background is from Port Antonio, Jamaica. And although not born and raised there, I go to Jamaica as often as possible from when I was a child up until just last April. So all I need to tell you is, if you have not been to Jamaica, you need to make sure you take that trip. If you want all-inclusive resorts, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, make sure you go on to Kingston and go visit the Bob Marley Museum. One of the things that people love about Jamaica is our music. Let me tell you something, reggae music, dance hall, man, from Buju, Ding Dong, who's killing the scene right now, Vibes Cartel, Squash, Mavado, the list goes on. Their music just gives you this lively energy that is just, I don't know what it is, but boy, when me, they're a club and reggae music is playing, you're not seeing me you're not seeing me again. Me gone on the middle of the dance floor. Me I dance by myself. Me I dance with strangers. Whatever. How I got started in the industry was I was out with some friends at a lounge per se, and Kevin Crown was playing. I would never forget. It's been over 8 years, just about, since I've been doing this. And I went in the back to go cast because my friends are telling me to go back there. And it was Glenroy Marsh of Demarche Couture, who is also Jamaican. And he was back there holding his casting call for a New York Fashion Week show. And long and behold, I got booked. And my nickname that night ended up being Stew Chicken. So, Little Stew Chicken now had the look, had the measurements, everything. My walk wasn't all that great. It wasn't as fierce as it is now. So I did a couple of runway classes with him. And that following season, I'm doing my first New York Fashion Week show, and it was amazing. I would have never thought in a million years that I would be doing New York Fashion Week. But anyway, within these 8 years, I have worked with Rick Davey for Fashion Week Brooklyn and Jerry Jordan. I've worked with Emerge, modeling and working behind the scenes. Small Boutique Fashion Week, modeling and working behind the scenes. I had an amazing opportunity to produce 3 fashion shows for Harlem Fashion Week. And this journey has just been dope. Mind you, I am an unsigned model, and I have done so much work that signed models have done, and signed models haven't even stepped foot to do yet. So I won Sheen Magazine's Triple Threat Award for hair, beauty, and fashion. I've been on 5 major billboards in Times Square. I've been published in Elle, GQ, London Life, Town and Country, Vogue, Vogue Italia, Harper's Bazaar. The list goes on. And it's just been an amazing ride. Although this ride has had lots of negative hiccups, because other than modeling, I am a mother. My son is 19. Yes, I come with a grown man. And one of the hiccups also is that I'm about to be 40. 40. Yes. So there are people out there that feel I'm too old. There are people out there that feel I should be doing something else. Nobody's gonna sign me. And those negative things, kind of dawned on me where I didn't want to do this anymore. But my son, let me tell you something about my pickney. That boy there, he don't know the word no. He don't understand can't because of how I raised him. So he always let me know, Mommy, you can. Mommy, you must. Mommy, you are. So I'm pushing and I'm doing it and I'm killing it. And whether signed or unsigned, keep watching me. Because me, I could do my thing. Point blank, period. I came this far and I'm not going to stop. There is a major brand out there for me. There is an agency out there for me. And right now, God is just cooking up my pot still. My pot are still simmer. It's simmering pan low because you know what? I don't want it to simmer too high because then it's like a burn. I don't want that. So in God's time, everything I got fall in place and work out. And I'm just going to be here ready for it. Let me think now. How has Corona treated me? Well, my girl, Corona, aka COVID-19, you need to pack up your things and you need to go on back where you come from, because you just put a pause upon everybody's life. But we still worked around you and did what it is that we needed to do, whether it was 6 feet apart or whether it's virtually. I've come a long way, and I still have a long way to go. So I am all about self-love, self-care, putting me first, because I have always had a tendency of putting other people before me, and I gotta cut that out. And I support everybody. I post everybody, from your shirt to your shoes to your eyelashes. Hey, Nina, London lashes. Anyway, to your eyebrows. Hey, she's Ryan, Serve Studio. Get your arm braids and microblading on. My cousin have a boutique, Chic by T. May I wear one of our tops tonight too? So listen, everything is all about marketing and branding and support. And back to partying and things of that nature. Make sure you come out for Daybreak Jamaica in Miami, Florida, January 3rd. Come out and come catch a vibe. All inclusive, come have a good time.